This is going to be a quick explanation and demonstration of an iPhone electronic menu system that I'm working on. This is how it's set up. It's set up a bit differently than a lot of people might think. It's going to be running off of a local server on a local network. Should be basically any computer, Mac or PC. In this case, we're going to be using a Macintosh, and all the data is going to be entered in a MySQL database. HTML and PHP code will be pulling that data and displaying everything. There's iPhone-like graphics. I wanted this to look like an iPhone application and work somewhat like an iPhone application, since iPhone applications are really easy to use. I wanted it to look like one so that people would feel comfortable with it and operate like one, so it would be easy to use. The Apache server in MySQL is done using, you can use pretty much any program. I'm using MAMP in this case to push the Apache in the SQL. So basically what this does is it turns your computer into a server. And this is done off a local network, so you don't have to go outside of the internet, so everything is snappy. And my justification for doing that is I did put an online version up, but with it being off of a server on the local network, it's much more snappier. And with it running like this, with PHP being a server-side code, it relies on the power of the computer on the network, not the power of the devices. And so this will be run off of, my plan is to have this run off of iPods. I'm using an iPhone now to test this out. If you have an iPhone, you can use it. You can also use any phone that has a Wi-Fi access or internet access. Well, that would be Wi-Fi though, phones. And that's also laptops accessing via the, they could access Ethernet in or Wi-Fi. This is designed to look good on Safari. Safari WebKit, those shared by Android and Google's Chrome. So if you're on a laptop using any of those, well, Safari or Chrome would display correctly. Other browsers, it's not going to quite look as well. On phones using Android or iPhones, iPads, iPods, using Safari, it's going to look fine. You can also use this with iPod I'm planning iPads, as I just said, and I'm looking at a iPad-sized Android device. Walgreens has one now for $100, and that would work, and that gives you much bigger real estate. Let's see, okay, this is the system here, and the purpose for this is that this allows you to add thousands of drinks or whatever items that you want to add. The problem in bars is that you can only add so many drinks. With a limited amount of alcohol, you can make thousands of drinks, but you can't add those to a menu. And so this allows you to do that, because you can enter them into the database, they're all in there, and this allows you to sort, to find what you want. Now, this is displaying a little bit differently than it does on my phone, because it's got this bottom menu, which I have disabled on my in the coding on my phone. So when this is being displayed on people's devices, they won't see this part. The top URL bar is hidden, and that's in the code. So when anybody pulls this up, that automatically hides itself. This is the first page that you'll see when you come to. So you pop it open, and this is it. The plan is to have an iPod sitting on the counter and a display in an upright position, so it'll look like this, and it'll be on. And so when you look at it, this is what you're going to see. I made the buttons, big and filled up the real estate. Remember, this part here is really not going to be there, and so the real estate is full. Doesn't go over. And you got your categories. These are the beers, and these are the ones that are added, and you can sort by name or by price. And then when you pick the actual item, this is what you get. So the name, price. You also get background information about the drinks, and you can write a comment. Go back. Let me see if we can find one that has a comment so I can demonstrate. Okay, this one here. This is just an example comment. It's going to put the actual date that you write the comment, where you're from. You do a star rating on from 1 to 5 stars, and then what you want to say. We'll actually go to that so you can see. This is the information: your name, where you're from. You do a star rating, and then you write what you want to say. And this puts it into the database, but doesn't become live until it's checked to become live. And so the staff will then look at the comments in the database, make a check mark, and it appears live on here. That prevents inappropriate comments from being submitted. Okay, we'll go. This is the wine category, and in these categories, you also, when you get to the category, you have an info, which gives you information about the category. Okay, so this tells you all about wine and wine coolers. Okay, and if you want to add, this is if you want to suggest a drink. Okay, you write your name and then you write your suggestion. Like if you want to add a drink. So if you got a suggestion of a drink, you write out what you know about it, and then staff can look it up and add the drink if they want to. Well, let's go back here and we'll show you. Once you're in looking at an item, I kept the sorting at the top. And what that does is it takes you back and sorts it by the way that you say you wanted it sorted, either by name or by price. You go to shots and shooters, and these are you're gonna have quite a bit of these. Now, as you notice here, this program is actually acting up at this point. It does not do this when you're looking at it on an actual iPod or iPhone. See, it's not displaying correctly. Some sort of bug in the program, I'm guessing, because I never get that when I'm using it on an iPod or my iPhone, but I get that quite a bit when I'm using this. Okay, we're gonna open it again and see if we can try to get through this without it acting up. Okay, here we go. Alright, we are back. We'll go to cocktails. Okay, now the cocktails in shots and shooter are going to have a lot of drinks, because you can add thousands. There are tens of thousands of cocktails and shooters out there, and you can just keep adding them. and this allows you to easily sort to find the ones that you want. These are the ones that I've added so far, and if there is no picture, I have it set to display this picture. But then the ones that have a picture, it'll display the picture that it has. And it has a recipe which tells the staff how to make it and tells the patron how it's supposed to be made. So this is also for the staff, so they can read this and learn how to make it if they don't know. Now what I did with the shooters is it tells them the order to layer them as well, and the ingredients are displayed in the order that they need to be layered. You can also select by ingredient, and so these are all the cocktails with amaretto that they've got. Okay. And we're going to try this one again and see if this, see it's acting up again. Now this is not going to display correctly, but still we can kind of take a look. Once again, it doesn't do that when I'm looking at it on my iPhone. This program just seems to have a problem. So here is, well, we'll look at the B52. No, I didn't get the B52. There we go. Yep. See, this is acting up. It's not showing what it should be. Anyway, the program's acting up, so it's not working correctly. But you get kind of an idea of how this all works. And I will produce another one of these. I'm still working on this. It works. This works for the most part. I need to check everything and make sure everything's running as it should be. Maybe add a few more features. Certainly need to add a lot more drinks, but that's going to be a never-ending project. Again, what this allows is for you to add thousands and thousands of drinks. The patron to be able to search for just what they want. If they like amaretto and want a cocktail, they can search for all the cocktails that have amaretto in, or whatever. Or they want a shooter that has a certain ingredient. They can search for all the shooters that have that and discover some that they might never have heard of before, but might want to try. And they can get background history on the drinks. And a lot of drinks have real interesting information. And some people will want to read that, some people won't. The ones that don't have to read that information. The ones that do will sit there in the bar longer and order more drinks because they'll be entertained as they read through this information. And they also discover drinks that they never knew that they're interested in. If a price or any information about a drink changes, most particularly the price, it's really easy to update that information in the database. It's just an SQL database, and you use PHP MyAdmin or whatever to monitor, to update that. I'm going to be creating a more simpler web interface which will allow the staff to easily add drinks without having to go into PHP MyAdmin, because, well, I might be familiar with that, a layperson would not be, so I want to make it so that anybody can add items to the menu and change items that are in the menu. Alright, well, I'm going to probably look for a different simulation program so that we can see how this works correctly, but gives you a little bit of information about the system that I'm currently working on.